Sorry, I've been away for a little bit, but I've got a really good excuse. I'm in Brazil, and I'm going to give you a couple of videos today, and then we're going to hopefully get back on track in the next couple of weeks when I get back home. But for today, I want to show you how you can turn your worst possible features of a product into benefits. It's something I learned from the legendary Jay Abraham. I spoke with him on stage yesterday. I've had a great time with Jay and a lot of the other legends here at the Legends event in Brazil. I'll tell you a little bit more about that too. I'm John Benson, and this is Sales Copy Secrets. Welcome back, and guess what? I am in a different location, as you can probably tell. Lovely taupe-colored walls back there. I think it's taupe. I don't know. I'm not a color guy, but we're doing the best we can here. We're doing the best we can. Got the mic way up in my face and everything, but bear with me for the next couple of videos because we are on the road traveling a lot. Haven't even been able to do videos for the last couple of weeks, so sorry about that delay, but I think this will really be cool for you because I want to just talk off the cuff. I don't have a way of doing slides and showing you stuff on a computer. It's just not very effective for me to do that right now, but I do have a way to talk to you. And this is what I've learned from being in Brazil for the last, 3.5 weeks, I think that we've been here. And that is, people here are hungry for information. They really are. They're where Americans were internet marketing wise 10 to 15 years ago. So kind of the Wild West. You've got like maybe 50 guys that control the entire thing. So it's really kind of cool. And most of those 50 guys are at an event that we are speaking at. And just to give you some background before I get into the technique I want to teach you about today, we're at the Legends of Marketing event, and I was honored to be part of the 12 that were chosen to be quote unquote legends. And so it was me and Jeff Walker, who actually had to pull out at the last minute, unfortunately. And I'm here with tons of people. Mike Filsame, Glenn Ledwell, Mitro. So I mean, yeah, go down the line of marketers that Rich Sheffrin, Jay Abraham. I mean, so it's pretty good little lineup we got going on here. I'll be sharing some pictures on the YouTube feed and letting you know more about that. So let me tell you about what I learned from Jay Abraham yesterday. I did a copywriting breakout panel that, believe it or not, I was the head of, which is kind of weird because I was sitting next to Jay Abraham, who was sitting next to Rich Sheffrin, and then Mike Filsame was on the other side of me. So pretty cool group of people. And I did a talk on copywriting, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that probably in another video. But one of the topics that came up is, how do I take something that is a negative feature of my product or service, and how do I do it? Do I lie? Do I tell people that it's not there? Do I just ignore it? And I want to give you a couple of strategies for dealing with that. Strategy number one is the strategy that most people use, and it's the worst strategy in my opinion that you can use, and that's simply just don't mention it. So you can do that. You can say, I've got this major bug in my product. Maybe it takes 18 years to get through, or it's super complicated. And I think that's a mistake. I'll tell you why. Let's look at P90X, okay? P90X was a very famous fitness product back in, I believe, the early 2000s. And they ended up being the very first $1 billion fitness company because they took their worst benefit, worst benefit's kind of an oxymoron. They took their worst feature, the worst thing about the product, which was that it was just kicked your ass. It was really hard. It was 90 minutes long. It wasn't 5-minute abs. It was 90 minutes of torture. Well, that's not something most people would be, hip on buying, right? But they turned it into their biggest benefit because they said, everyone else is promising you these ridiculous results so quickly. You know that's a lie. I know that's a lie. You know that you need to kick your ass. We've got the program to kick your ass if you're brave enough to take it. Now, that's not the exact words, but it's pretty close. And they ended up doing more money than anybody else doing this. They made their worst feature, the worst drawback, the worst objection, their number one benefit. Now, I'm not suggesting you have to make it your number one benefit. That's extreme. But you should make it a benefit. So I'm going to relay a story from the legendary Jay Abraham of what Jay did to do this same thing with the late, great Chet Holmes. Now, Chet Holmes was a legendary marketer who unfortunately left us way too soon. And Chet did a video series back in the 80s, back when they had cassette tapes, okay? Remember VHS and cassettes and all that? Well, he shot these videos on marketing. And of course, the material was stellar because Chet was an incredible marketer. He came to Jay Abraham, and he was kind of broke at the time. And that's something that a lot of you don't know, that marketers, and especially we copywriters, will go through ups and downs. Okay, I'm one of the more like fairly stable guys, but there's a lot of guys that are way up and way down. And Gary Halbert was one of those guys. Certainly Chet was one of those guys. There's a lot of other guys that were like that. And unfortunately for Chet and Gary, I think that really ended up costing them their lives, literally, because their personalities were so eclectic, but they were geniuses. And my hat goes off to both of them. They were both inspirational men. That being said, Chet came to Jay and said, hey, I've got this idea. I've got these videos. It's awesome material. Will you sell it? Kind of need to make some money. So Jay looked at the videos, and he thought the material was excellent, but the videos were awful. I mean, the videos were hideously ugly. We're talking like lines to the videos. The way he shot it, it made Chet look, who was supposedly a handsome guy, made him look really unattractive and kind of fat and big faced, and just the worst possible camera job you can think of. So Jay said, Chet, I love the videos, but you will have to reshoot them because these are just terrible. Because I don't have the money to reshoot them. I can't do this. So Jay, being a genius that he is, decides to write the following headline, or something close to this headline. These hideous videos may make you a millionaire if you can stand watching them. Now, this is just genius level copywriting. And when he told that story in the room, and we have translators live, we're speaking in English and everybody's listening in Portuguese, everyone starts laughing. So that transcended the language barrier, right? So it's just genius if you think about it. And then they went back with all these really clever upsells that were just all based around how awful the videos were. And they had to decrease the price, which was actually pretty expensive at the time because the videos were such horrible quality, but the material may be able to make you a millionaire. So that is how you take one of the worst features possible and you flip it into one of the best features possible. Now, both the examples that I gave you took the number one thing that was the bad thing and became the number one thing that's the good thing. But let me give you one more example that's not so, it's not the number one thing. It's just a way to take a typical bad feature and turn it into something good. And again, this came from actually Rich Schefren, relaying a story from Jay Abraham. I'm going to just relay the legends are coming to you right here. And this was just fantastic information. Check this out. So Rich orders a video, back to video cassettes and VHS back in the day. I mean, we were young back then, right? And he orders this program from Jay, and he spent $5,000. Now, this is 30 years ago. So imagine that cost 30 years ago, $5,000. That's expensive today, right? So he's like, I don't know if I should do this, but it's Jay Abraham. I'm going to do it. So he ordered the tapes. He said it would take 2 weeks to get there. And 2 weeks go by, and he gets a letter in the mail from Jay Abraham. And the letter starts off like this. Hey, Rich, I have fantastic news for you. Your cassette tapes, or I can't remember their VHS or cassettes, they're going to be late. Now, most people would send an apology letter saying, oh, I'm so sorry. Man, can you ever forgive us? We're going to be late. We're not going to get you the videos on time. We're not going to get you. No, not Jay. He says, no, I've got great news. Now, first of all, it's going to be late. But the reason why it's going to be late is I decided to cram a whole bunch of other stuff into the package. And it's going to take me another 3 to 4 weeks to get it ready for you. But it's stuff that you didn't even pay for. And I think it's going to help you even make even more money. And everyone was happy. Okay. Now that is just reframing. Okay. That's all we're talking about is reframing, repositioning. In other words, think through the problem. How can you turn the pain into a benefit? If you do that, you will make more sales. You'll make a lot of people happier, and it may actually spur you to think in a way that makes your product even better, like it did Mr. Jay Abraham. So I hope this helps. Until next time, I'm John Benson. As always, here to help make you unignorable.